Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. As we are here with the PW Unlimited Wednesday show, episode number 75. We're a little bit late because we were doing some official business. We were actually trying to take care of some stuff possibly for StarCast and AEW weekend.
Let's just say your boy Tim will be there. Your boy
Yes.
Nick might.
Correct.
Tim, real quick, what is the first, you're leaving Thursday, right? Thursday the 23rd?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. Anyway, what's up, folks? Welcome to the show. Number 75.
Nelson
What's up?
asked about Money in the Bank odds video. First thing tomorrow morning. It will be out in the morning tomorrow. Video's already recorded. Just need to edit it.
Elite Division says, I love the program with Nick and Tim. Fuck yeah, man. I really appreciate it. And I think that is the first time anyone's ever described this show as a program besides my 67-year-old grandmother who doesn't think I don't know if she knows what a radio show is because they're all radio programs, and she watches her favorite television programs.
Gotcha.
It's wonky. She calls YouTube videos programs. My grandmother, bless her soul, I love her to death. She discovered how to use a computer.
Mm-hmm.
So she spends all day either listening to Mexican music or Spanish, because she's Puerto Rican, right, on YouTube, or looking up some of her old family recipes and how to make them now on YouTube.
Interesting.
She called me out. She's like, "Oh, look up this Spanish word. I wanna watch videos on how to make it." I was like, "Oh, that's so cute."
That's funny.
Oh God, Luke Might says at Pro Wrestling Unlimited. So I guess that's to the both of us. Where do you think John Moxley will go to? We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Hollywood.
Jeff Guevara, hello. Nelson, we already said hello. Derek Bocek, Eric Tate, Tesla 167, my favorite man in this chat. He made fun of me the other day. It was really funny. Jason Dalton, Gregory's here as well. Luke Might's here. A little bit of a packed house for this show tonight. And we got some stuff to talk about. The stinky wild card rule, the revival. I want to give my opinions on the revival making just
hot.
Yeah, that's real stinky.
Oozy.
And I want to talk a little bit as well about. Well, I think a big focus, and we'll talk a little bit about the viewership numbers as well, because that's something that Tim wanted to talk about today.
A little bit.
But before we get started, we're going to start with an off-topic conversation, because we didn't talk about this last week, and I don't know if it was actually around last week, Tim.
Uh-oh, what?
What are your thoughts on the Sonic trailer?
Oh, well, if you want to... Well, I mean, I already gave my thoughts on my other podcast, but, I'll say it here. Sonic the Hedgehog trailer I thought was okay. Mm-hmm. I didn't think it was anything great. I don't know. They say they're going to change the look of Sonic. I don't know how much more you can change him for movie-wise.
I'm going to... Listen, this Sonic movie, man, it was doomed from the start with the first poster. When that leak came out of his feet and the Golden Gate Bridge, I don't know if you remember that. It was doomed from the beginning. And you look at him, and he looks like a coke addict's nightmare. He looks scary. He looks like a boy. Looks like a not a toddler, but maybe a 10, 11-year-old boy, blue with red Converse on.
I'm going to send you something.
I'm scared. But, and I was thinking about it, and I thought, this movie, someone sat down in a production studio and said, let's make a live-action Sonic. Here's a mock-up of what we had. And a producer goes, Paramount. Paramount goes, ooh, I like that. That's really good. I like that. Who's going to be Dr. Eggman? And someone, I'm assuming this is how it went. They did a fresh line of cocaine off of a table, and they said, fuck it, let's get Jim Carrey in here.
Why not? Jim Carrey's the perfect crazy person.
Yeah, but fucking God, it's so stinky.
Check your Twitter DMs.
I'm scared to do that.
I'm going to pull this up on the stream, too.
I'm kind of scared. I'm looking at it right now. I'm a little worried.
Somebody made that.
God, I hate the internet.
Okay, guys.
This is why I don't... Do you remember...
I'm tying Sonic into wrestling.
A statement never before said until this moment in time.
Well, unless you're watching Up, Up, Down, Down.
Okay, that's fair. God. What a woman. That's a real woman right there, dude.
Okay, why won't this enlarge?
I ask myself that question every night, Tim.
Okay. So Nick, wow. Okay. So Nick's talking about the Sonic trailer. Well, Alexa Bliss posted this photo. It had to have been fan made, of course.
I don't like it.
Someone made Alexa Bliss as Sonic the Hedgehog. My echo's about to go off.
I don't like it.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
She didn't get that one, Tim. I don't like it.
Alexa the Hedgehog.
It's real stinky, man.
Anyways, I see, where was it? Sergio Gutierrez says, going to watch the Pokemon movie. I will be going Saturday morning with the kids.
That's so sweet. I hope they enjoy it. I made a deal with my manager at my job, or one of my assistant managers. He said, I told him if he buys me a full-on Sonic costume, I'll wear it the whole day to work and then to the premiere of the movie at like 9 p.m.
Nice.
So I'm going to do that. Okay. Thank you guys for indulging in the non-wrestling talk there. But God, the Sonic movie just looks bad.
You know what's really going to kill the Sonic movie?
The Detective Pikachu?
No, because those come out like way different
Well, it's just
times.
like, because you've got basically the same concept, except one looks fucking awesome and one looks not.
No, you're not wrong there. But you know what's going to kill it is freaking Frozen 2 comes out like 2 weeks later.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Elite Division with just the most important comment. Pikachu is damn cute.
And what about the original Pikachu, though? Fat Pikachu from Red and Blue.
Fat Pikachu. I love Fat Pikachu. Okay. Speaking of Fat Pete, this has nothing to do with Fat Pikachu.
How about Fat? Never mind. I'm not going to give an in-game trailer or a spoiler.
Don't worry.
I could have. Even though, if you've seen that Spider-Man trailer, that movie was ruined for you.
That's very true. Okay. So, Monday and Tuesday, we were introduced to the wild card rule, which I understand the point of doing it. And I guess calling it something as silly as wild card rule is better than fuck, man, we really need viewership numbers to rise. I get that that's a little bit more better, but a little bit more better, is that how you would say that? A little bit better. But what I don't like is how a lot of like, movies like Avengers do this all the time where they set up a rule, they let you know what the rule is, and then they break that rule immediately. So what I want to know is, like, when Vince McMahon said 3 superstars from SmackDown can come to Raw and 3 superstars from SmackDown can come to SmackDown, because that's what he said, but we all know he meant Raw. Does that then mean that means 3 people? We see Lars Sullivan, and I want to know if this was maybe done on the fly when they were like, "Oh fuck, now we gotta change the rule."
I don't know if it was done on the fly. I think the Lars Sullivan thing had to been planned.
Yeah, so you think the plan was, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna say 3, and then Lars is gonna bully Vince McMahon into,
because it makes Lars look like a bigger, what's it called, a
bigger threat.
A bigger threat. Like even Vince is intimidated by Lars Sullivan.
That's true. Yeah, okay, that's fair. And then the next night, you have AJ Styles come out and say, "Well, I don't understand this." And then he changes it. If you notice, they don't. Well, let me go properly in order. Monday, they say 3. The next day, when they have the recap of Raw on the WWE website, they say Vince McMahon says 4 people will be allowed to go to each brand.
That's what he said by the end of the show.
Right. The next night, it's a limited number of superstars.
Yeah, AJ said limited and 5 showed up.
I don't like, and what I don't like is that they go so fucking flip-flop with their rules. And it's hard to get invested into that. It's really hard to get invested into that.
And you think that is a factor of Vince changing his mind from day to day?
Do you think Vince changed his mind in the ring?
No, but here's the interesting thing. When Vince first came out, he said he had an announcement, and then Roman interrupted him. Okay. Then, when he announced the wild card rule, he made it sound like it was something he came up at that moment. So what was Vince actually going to announce?
Maybe just like...
And they did the same thing on SmackDown with Shane.
Yeah.
Because they were like, stay tuned, because after the commercial break, Shane McMahon's got a Money in the Bank ladder match announcement. And Shane gets in the ring, and he talks about Money in the Bank, and he talks about the ladder matches, and how most of the time, if you win the briefcase, you win the championship. And before he could say anything else, he was attacked by The Miz. So he never gave his announcement either.
I really like what Daniel Price says here. Wild card is ways of saying, hey, the brand split's ending, but Vince McMahon doesn't actually say it. Bringing it back was a bad idea to begin with. So let's talk about that. When they had originally brought back that brand split,
2016.
So back in 2016, when I was 17 years old, they brought up that brand split. How does that make you feel? Does that make you feel old? I'm in my 20s now, man.
I'm in my 30s
I'm old
now.
I
think
love
you're
that.
old.
I know. My bones are already aching. So when they introduced that in 2016, everyone seemed excited. And then they immediately dropped the ball with it. And now, so many years later, it's just dragging. It's stinky.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's why you need a brand split. If you don't have this brand split, then you're going to have at least 15, 20 guys sitting on ice. At least with the brand split, more people can possibly get an opportunity.
I get that. Nicholas Morte, I am 20 years old. Fun fact. I get that you can get more guys, but who is this? Other than the already established main event guys, who's it going to help? Usos are already established as top tier men.
Are they really?
Yeah, well, on SmackDown they were established.
They're not on Raw. They're the schoolyard bullies.
Yeah, they're the kids that don't even fucking get me started.
Hold on.
God.
Off topic really fast. Is this Okada picture new?
I hope so. You just saw what I retweeted?
Yeah.
Shirtless first. Yeah, I hope so. I don't know. Look it up.
So apparently, off topic for a second, IWGP Heavyweight Champion Kazuchika Okada threw out the first pitch at a Japanese baseball game with no shirt and his belt over his shoulder.
Shout out to working
Because
for you.
that's how Okada rolls.
Could you imagine? Well, if you were that ripped, wouldn't you? Anyway, a little bit back on topic is that the Usos were established as big guys already. Everyone that quote-unquote swap brands were already like, people love these guys. These guys are good. They're usually in a high-profile feud. Here you go.
You talking about people that switched in the Superstar Shakeup this year?
No, I'm talking about the people that have appeared during the wild card rule.
But does Monday really count? Since
Yes.
that's when the rule was created?
Yes, because they still showed up.
Yeah.
If you look at the people they thought these are who we should bring, they're already established main event dudes. You had Bryan go to Raw. You had Kofi go to Raw. You had Lars go to Raw.
But here's the thing.
You had AJ. Go ahead.
Logic would assume that nobody knew about the rule before. So Bryan, Kofi, and Roman showing up on Raw, you can't say that's wild card rule. Lars Sullivan, why was he there? Logic states that Monday nobody knew that this was in effect.
I understand
and
that.
You shouldn't look at WWE with logic.
I know that, but what I'm saying is like, these were the people they presented at that moment. These were like wild card rule, and then these guys are here from SmackDown. So those are the ones that they handpicked to say, when we do this segment, you're going to come out.
Right.
The next night, you had what? Styles, you had Usos, you had Sami Zayn, and who else was there?
The Miz.
And The Miz.
And
so you've got every single one of those guys were fucking huge on SmackDown when they were there. They were huge. Sammy wasn't ever on SmackDown, but Sammy, he's good for a crowd. Was he during the brand split? Did he switch?
Sammy Owens versus Shane.
Yeah, I was about to say, wasn't he there and then he got injured and then when he came back?
Last year him and Owens got moved to Raw in the brand split. And then when they both got injured, they put Kevin on SmackDown after his recovery and they kept Sammy on Raw. Also, can we talk about Sami Zayn getting destroyed in a garbage truck and then perfectly fine the next night? Other than he apparently smelled like trash.
Can we explain the Miz doing that as well? Was that the Miz? Or no, Braun doing that?
Well, at least I think Braun was off for at least a week.
Braun drove the truck.
But here's the thing. With Braun,
at least had the week gap.
No, they showed the garbage truck close. With Sammy, all we saw was the dumpster get dumped in. We didn't even see if they squished him or not. So there's your logic.
That's
I was gonna say
Yeah.
squeezed him, but then it's not squeezed, it's squished. So they're squished. I don't know. I can't talk.
Thanos snaps fingers, just as WWE logic. Relatable content, buddy. This wild card rule is off to a shaky start. I think the main event of SmackDown. Here's what I appreciate. So far, what the wild card rule has done has made Kofi such a legitimate fucking champion. Back-to-back nights of high-profile defenses.
True.
That's intense, dude.
Right.
Who did he beat on Monday? Brian. And
It was
just Brian. And then Tuesday he beats AJ and Sammy, which is like, dude, that's big.
Yeah.
Those are big. So they're making Kofi legit. But what worries me is that, are they going to make everyone else as legit? Is Joe going to be as legit? Is Brian and Rowan going to be as legit? Is Balor going to be as legit? Because
here's my other question. You just named all bunch of champions. Should the champions? We saw Kofi do it, but should the other champions?
You're gonna say the thing that I want.
What, the champions should be the ones moving over?
I wish the rule, and I put this on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter at ArmWeek21, you can follow me. I think the rule should have been Vince McMahon saying, anybody. I'm sorry, I already fucked this up. I'm too high. Only the champions can switch brands. So if you are holding a title, and this includes, and I doubt he would say NXT, but this includes NXT, includes 205, this includes NXT UK. If you hold a belt, jump wherever you want, because you know what planted the seeds of that, of the whole, I want to defend this title everywhere.
The women's tag titles?
Sasha and Bayley and those women's titles saying we want to defend these everywhere.
But here's the thing: if you're gonna let all these champions jump brand to brand, then what's the use of having multiple champions in the same basically division? Why have a US and an IC champion? Why have two separate women's champions? Why have two separate tag team champions?
Well, in the case of the US and the IC, those are just mid-card belts that, like, they're tools of elevation. United States is the beginning, and Intercontinental is like, all right, and then you get your world belts. But Tesla, I just fucking said my Twitter. It's like you don't even pay attention. But with, like, the tag belts, you know what I want. I want the tag division on Raw.
Right.
I want Raw to be sole owner of the tag division. With the two women's belts, I mean, fuck it. I unify them, give them to Becky, and Becky hops back and forth.
Here's the thing. I know it's still a week and a half away, but betting odds have Becky winning both of them matches at Money in the Bank.
Oh, I 100% got it. I guarantee that.
And then here's the other thing. Next week's Raw and SmackDown, yeah, we're going to get the wild card rule. They're pre-taped shows.
Oof. Oh, that's right, because they're out of the country.
Because they're going to be in Manchester.
Country
so
roads.
Technically, those shows will air they'll start taping a little before noon Pacific time.
Country roads.
And so now here's the thing though. Last year we learned that Raw and SmackDown in the UK being pre-taped, really the ratings stayed the exact same they were the week before. So in that regard, if everything stays like they did last year, then being pre-taped isn't that big of a deal, since it is only like a couple of hours beforehand. It's not like it's days before like NXT where we can read everything in advance. Some people may still be at work while they're taping, so they won't be able to read those spoilers. So
exactly.
There's the one thing with that one. But I mean, it's just a matter of fact of, will people see online so-and-so came over from SmackDown with the wild card rule before Raw goes on the air, and then they're like, oh, okay, I didn't like that one, I'm not going to watch.
Yeah.
But like I said, if the ratings do the same as last year, then it being pre-taped really shouldn't make that big of a difference.
I'm excited for them to be in a European crowd with this wild card. Maybe that can get me a little bit more invested, because if they do this right, because the fans are going to be hot. UK fans are always hot. So if you get a hot crowd, you get a great Raw and SmackDown, you get a clear direction of like, this is what people are liking, here's what we can do with this wild card rule, then you could have got a late start like I did in kindergarten. You could have got a late start. I didn't start until like noon every day, and it was wonderful. And it could work. But if you fuck this up, we're gonna have a long couple months of Michael Cole shoving in your face that it's the wild card rule.
Right. It'll be interesting. And then you said, like, hopefully being in front of a different kind of crowd makes a difference with them being there in the UK. Hopefully. Usually those crowds are pretty good. Did you see the attendance for SmackDown this week?
No, I didn't. Unfortunately, what was the attendance like?
So I'm going to pull up a photo from SmackDown, if I can find it.
Neat.
Because that building was empty.
Well, I don't blame them.
But here's the thing. They were in the Midwest, and apparently they've been running Midwest shows for the last 2 weeks. All within vicinity of each other. So if you went to any of those shows, you could have apparently drove to any of the other ones because they were that close to each other. So it's
Good
like
Lord.
You did too many shows close to one another. So it's like, see, I got one picture here, but that's not. I want the other one because there was one where it was really bad. Like this one that I'm looking at here, they tarped off the side, but they always tarp off.
Yeah, they always tarp off. Because I remember the first SmackDown I went to, they tarped off as well.
Right, and it's like. Yeah, Tesla 167 says the arena was literally half empty. I mean, a lot of times it's almost half empty, but even on the side the camera looks at was very empty. Even on the floor was very empty.
Yeah, it was not great.
Let me see. Because there's one specific picture I want to find. Ooh, I think I may have found it. Let me see if I can pull this up here on screen. It up. So we've got this right here. This is one of them. Where you see all this empty, which... There's a good amount of SmackDowns where this whole side under the hard camera is empty. But then you look all around here, so many empty seats. All down here, so many empty seats. On the floor, up in the riser spots. So,
it's
not good.
Not great. No, you're not wrong. It's not great. Shout out to @dash of Tennille? Tennille? Oh, Tennille Dash. Oh, that's their picture on Twitter. You can see their @ in the thing you were hovering over, so I gave them.
Gotcha.
Just giving them a little shout out. Yeah, and part of the low attendance goes into something that Dylan Nolan says here is we need long and interesting and non-repetitive storylines, not same stupid stuff like Uzi Hot. Dear God, that was terrible. I guess it's time to talk about fucking Uzi Hot and the real stinky creative that the Revival has been given. And I think
before. You said creative. Have you seen the video, the backstage video of the WWE creative team and their job and how it all works?
No.
WWE put a video together. Basically, it was posted May 1st, but no one saw it till today, apparently, on their YouTube.
It'd be really funny to like, hey, we're going to have a really shit week. Why don't we put up how bad you guys are?
No, they made it sound like... So they talk about... They all get together for their meetings. They pitch their ideas, and... It seems like it's a good working environment. They talk about how some people stay back in Connecticut. Some people go on the road with the crew. So if things need to get changed there and they can talk with the talent. They talked about how this guy's a writing assistant and this is his job as a writing assistant. And sometimes the writing assistants can pitch ideas and stuff. And then they go, but really, what is the word they used? I don't think this is the word they used, but they basically said, it is a pleasure and a joy when we actually get to see that anything we pitched on a Friday actually gets used on a Monday. I'm like, wow.
I was really hoping he was going to say something along so like, it is a joy and a wonder for working for the WWE and Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And then you can just like through his hollow eyes see the cue card that they propped up.
But the thing is, they're talking to all these different writers and they're like, yeah, my background is reality TV. This other lady that actually just won an Emmy Award goes, my background is soap operas. And this one guy goes, my background's everything but wrestling.
Fuck yeah, man. You know what? You know what I think of? Whenever I'm like, you know what? We need some good, compelling stories for wrestling here. We need some good, really good, what makes sense for wrestling. What do you think we should do? I don't know. Let's fucking hire someone that's never watched a day in their life. Perfect!
It was
what the fuck is that thought process?
When they said that,
it's real stinky.
It makes us happy when we actually see something that we write on a Friday get used on a Monday. That shows how little what they talk about over the weekend actually gets used.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the end of the video, I don't know if this is actually what happens or not, but they literally made it sound like the entire writing team sits together in a little room in Stanford and watches Raw and SmackDown together every week.
I would hate that.
That's how they made it seem, because they were all sitting in this room in chairs, and they panned up at the TV or whatever to make it look like they were watching Raw or whatnot, and then they panned back at all these people, the writing team that they've been talking to in this little short 5-minute documentary little deal.
It's weird. So as we talk about creative and how stinky it could be, the Revival just want to be respected.
They were like your dog when his balls get all itchy and they rub it on the carpet.
Right. So I'm assuming they read this script and they were like, all right, they want us to fucking do. I just want to let it be known, baby, that the San Jose Sharks will be going another game because we won tonight. Anyway, the Revival think to themselves, look, we're willing to do whatever, just treat us with some fucking respect. And I think that's why they're going through these real stupid fucking storylines. The only it was funny. I laughed my ass off.
Do you think they read the script or was told what to do and they go, screw it, we're going to do this over the top? Because they went way over the top.
Didn't Dawson take like a flat back bump on the ramp? Didn't he? I
think so.
He just straight up like back in training school took a flat back bump, and that's fucking. They probably thought they basically pulled a Shawn Michaels from the Shawn Michaels Hulk Hogan match. Where it's just like, fuck it. If they want me to do some dumb shit, we're gonna do some dumb shit. And it was great. It was effective. I laughed, but at the same time, I thought, man, poor fucking Revival. They don't deserve this shit. Like, that sucks, man. And the more and more they give them shit like this, you know what I immediately think of?
Huh?
AEW's tag division is gonna be fucking stacked. Lucha Bros, Bucks, Revival, Best Friends.
I mean, Revival still got a year on their contract.
I know, but I'm just saying. If this keeps up, I wouldn't be surprised if AEW had a pretty strong tag division. Who else is in that tag division, dude?
In AEW?
Yeah, you've got Lucha Bros, Bucks,
Best Friends.
Best Friends. What is their version of the New Day?
New version of the New Day.
What is it called?
They have a New Day?
They have SCU as well.
Oh yeah, SCU.
What is this tag team's name, dude?
I have no clue what you're talking about. Oh, Private Party?
Private Party.
That's not their version of the New Day. That's their version of the Street Profits.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant.
They actually wrestled for What Wrestling, who we featured on this channel before.
God, I can't wait to do more work with them. When are we going to?
I don't know.
Should reach out.
I'll reach out.
We should see. By chances, do you think anyone's going to be doing shows over Double or Nothing weekend?
Yeah.
Do you think they might? Do they have anything planned?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it'd be a little too late to
Anyways,
announce that.
Like you were saying, they went over the top with this, and then the Usos were like, drink water, or water will, they didn't say drink it, but they said water will help, water will make it feel all better, and they drank the water, and they go, no, you gotta pour the water on it.
Yeah, which is just like, all right, this is how you know, like.
No. I mixed that up.
I know.
They poured the water on it, and they said, no, you have to drink it. What?
Yeah, what's that gonna do?
And like we said before, on SmackDown, the Usos were just dominant, great, one of the best tag teams that the WWE's ever had in the last decade.
They had the Uso Penitentiary on lockdown, you could say. I felt so white saying that sentence.
And then they go to Raw, and they're just goofs. They're I don't want to call them clowns, but they just play pranks, and they giggle.
Yeah, it's real stinky.
They like to giggle at the Revival's expense.
Yeah. Dylan Nolan brings up a great point. It's pretty soon they might also have Gallows and Anderson.
Their contracts do expire, I want to say, October.
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 October 5th. Like, dude, they got such. Did you, by chance, did you guys see who the Revival's opponents were supposed to be?
For
For
Gallows and
Monday?
Anderson.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to be Gallows and Anderson. Poor guys.
They're just used to be extras.
That sucks, man. That's real stinky.
I really
That's
think
real
that if WWE wants to try, like, they've probably given up by now, but if they want to try to get them to re-sign, stick them with AJ. At least they'll be like, hey, you're going to be kind of connected to a main eventer, a main event scene, a decent storyline. AJ keeps teasing the whole friends thing. What other friends does he have?
I couldn't think of anyone else unless they sign someone brand new.
Yeah, no. There's nobody. I mean, hold on. Let me Google something really fast. He might have one other friend on Raw. Hold on.
Unless they're already bringing up Kushida to main.
That wouldn't be a friend of his.
And they just say something along the lines of like, guess what? He was also in Japan, just like AJ. That's the only thing I could think of.
Well, I mean,
man.
He does have another friend on Raw in Robert Roode. They were both in Fortune and TNA with Ric Flair.
Fucking Robert Roode, man. Robert fucking Roode. What a man. I love Robert Roode.
Robert Roode and his Silas Young mustache.
I'm growing the same one right now. I'm not gonna lie, fam.
Oh, Lord.
I'm growing the same thing.
So, I mean, here's my question now.
What's your question?
Do you think we'll ever see, going back to what we were originally talking about, do you ever think we'll see the Revival get used with this wild card rule?
No.
In a decent way?
No.
No?
I would like to see it, but no, they're not going to be used. What's going to be used is the big men.
Because, I mean...
Well, okay, so let's talk about that. Who would you like to see get used in this wild card rule?
I mean, effectively, I don't think you're wrong with saying it's only going to be guys that get used all the time anyways, because this could be a good thing for, like, say, I think I used this analogy the other day, a Robert Roode, to show up on SmackDown and be like, hey, wild card rule, I'm here, where's Finn Balor, I want the IC title.
He just lost twice to Sammy. Not Sammy. Ricochet.
No, he won one and lost one.
Yeah, I guess
He won the first one. Then he wasn't on the show. Ricochet got put into Money in the Bank after losing, and then his Money in the Bank spot was on the line.
It's fucking stupid, man.
I don't get it, but I mean that would be one thing that I would think somebody like at a Robert Roode level, where it's like you're getting used kinda, you're not really getting pushed. Maybe we could try to elevate you by giving you a title match on the other show. You may not win, but we can see if it helps.
Who would you... We also don't know the rules. Can it be anyone? Does it have to be specific people that get chosen?
Here's what I said on Monday. I go, did you hear what I said on Monday about this?
No, I don't think I did. I don't think I did.
I said, I bet you on a Monday Night Raw, everyone lines up in front of Vince's office and goes, Vince, can you put me on the list? What spot am I on the list? Am I on the list in time for tomorrow, or do I have to wait a week?
Oh my god, every week. This is what I want with every lower to mid card person. Every week, here's what I want. I want backstage. You get a shot of a plaque that says Mr. McMahon. This is his office, right?
Mm-hmm.
You pan out, and it's the B team, it's the Ascension, it's Fandango, it's all these fucking like just jobbers staring at a wall, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's like the scene where the cheerleading coach announces like who made the cheerleading squad, and it's the paper and everyone's reading their name, or like who got into the play.
Well, then here, one better. The beginning of the show, you have all these guys lined up, putting their name on the list, writing it down, starting to sign up.
Yeah.
You've got the piece of paper on the wall, the pen on the rope attached to it, and everyone's trying to fight. No, move, let me put my name on there. Move, let me put my name on there.
They could really fuck around with this and make it one of the funniest reoccurring things on SmackDown. And here's the thing. If they turn it to a limited amount of people, and it's like, these people are going to be set, so they're like, if you want your spot, go sign up on the wall, and then you can have such funny skits backstage of like, I don't know, the Ascension going up there to like write their names down, and like the B team dressed as like, I don't know, what's janitors, once the Ascension leave, take their disguise off and scribble out their name and write the B team, and then they get to go on Tuesday. Like
Right.
something stupid like that. Like they could really make this funny.
I mean, you can have like a
Sergio
Sami
Gomez.
Zayn go write his name on there, or go up to write his name, and then Braun comes and like just destroys him and goes, "Nope, I'm writing my name down."
Sergio Gutierrez just says the jobber strike. That'd be funny. Remember the referee strike?
In wrestling?
Yeah, do you remember that storyline
Oh yeah.
where all the referees were on? I don't remember what year it was. Those things like 2000 something, where all the referees were on strike. All I know is Teddy Long officiated a match, and someone else officiated a match. Or I think it was like Sonny officiated a match.
Referees walk out in '99.
And I was born in that year.
Yeah, referees walk out in '99.
Oh, goodness gracious.
But
Gosh darn. So you never answered. Who would you like to see?
I said Robert Roode.
Well,
Somebody that
okay,
can get elevated with it.
Okay, so you want to see Robert Roode?
Someone like Robert Roode, or someone at his level. A Ricochet, maybe.
You think Ricochet hopping back and forth?
Hell yeah, Ricochet versus Ali.
Oh,
Ricochet versus Andrade.
that does sound.
Now here's the other thing. As we've seen on Raw and SmackDown this week with the wild card rule, we actually got like real matches, like things that made sense. You know, Drew McIntyre, Roman, Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston, the 3-way for the WWE Championship. But when you have somebody like, say, a Ricochet that moves over, how do you set him up for just a random match? Or do you actually have to always have meaningful matches with the people that move over? Because you can't just...
maybe don't set him up for a random match, but say something... Because
how does he come out, and then what does he come out and say, you know, I fly high, and then Ali comes out and goes, I can fly higher?
Well, here's the thing. Would you announce the maybe the day before, the week before, like...
That's what I was going to ask next.
As part of the like a Twitter post, as part of the hashtag wildcard rule, Ricochet will be taking on the former Heart of 205 Live, Mustafa Ali.
That's what I was going to ask next. If with this wild card rule, would it hurt the rule or not to announce anything like morning of or 3 or 4 hours before? Because that's another thing that I wanted to talk about is if you're going to do this wild card rule to try and get better ratings, yeah, you can use it to say, hey, anybody can show up. It's going to be a surprise. But when you use all your big stars in the first 2 or 3 weeks,
it gets bleh.
It's going to be like, well, are they going to just use those same guys again? Or are we just going to get guys we don't care about anymore? Because it's like, they've already used Roman. They've already used Bryan. They've already used AJ. They've already used Kofi. Are they going to use them again next week? Or are they going to use them again in 2 weeks?
Probably.
So the one thing that they're hoping with is people are going to tune in because you don't know who can show up. But will it hurt that if you do announce 2 hours before the show, hey, Ricochet versus Ali tonight on SmackDown. This is happening because Ricochet is utilizing the wild card rule.
Okay, so you just put something in my mind that makes me feel like they could do something cool with this.
Huh.
Now you could start doing like someone cuts a promo back saying, you know what, with this new wild card rule, now is my chance to, someone like The Miz. Now is my chance to be the A-list on every show on both SmackDown and Raw. So you can start promoting, the higher stars through there. You could start getting people like Sammy who's like, you know what, everyone backstage at Raw, you guys suck. You know what? I don't even want to talk to you this week. If you want to see me wrestle, you can see me wrestle tomorrow on SmackDown Live and walk away. You know what I mean? What's the thing?
Now, this has probably changed because they've changed everything like 50 times already. On WWE.com, it said, superstars can go between brands for one night only appearances. So it made it seem like once they do it once.
It sounds like a one-off, though.
Then they can't, once Roman uses the wild card rule once, he can't use it again. Or at least can't use it for a certain amount of time. That's something that they didn't establish.
Because they're so vague.
It's so vague and so convoluted and so what are the actual parameters of this? We know that there's a limited amount of people that can move over. Anywhere between 3 and 5 is what we learned this week. And other than that, do we know how frequent a single superstar can use it? Do we know if tag teams count as one? Like, did the Usos count as one? Or do the Usos count as two?
That's what I'm saying.
That's the other thing that we didn't think of. Because if the Usos counted as 2, we only got the 4. We stuck with Vince's 4 that he told Sullivan.
Mm-hmm. So, Tim, how long until they fuck this up? How long until this is all like garbage?
When's Money in the Bank in a week and a half?
A week and a half.
After Money in the Bank?
After Money in the Bank, they say fuck it?
I mean, how long till they fucked up the fans or the authority?
Literally like the next day.
So there you go.
Oh, they need
I feel like next week it'll be utilized well because we're going to get crossover from the people in the Money in the Bank ladder matches. And then after that, they're like, fuck, what do we do now? We don't have anything to promote. We haven't said anything for Saudi Arabia.
Oh, dear God. We could talk about that after this because I totally forgot. Anyway, Daniel Price says they need to alternate wrestlers and stories, build a certain set of guys and girls for several months, and let that do its thing. Swap out people, repeat. So I like that. I like the idea of like, see, this is where the fans can come into play.
Mm-hmm.
Vote on who you want to see cross brands.
I get that. But then at the same time,
you would run into like the same people, and you would have, like,
and you would run into the fear of just getting the random matches. Because if you have a list of guys and you vote for Fandango, and he wins the poll, then what are you gonna do? Fandango versus Kofi Kingston? Fandango versus
Finn Balor?
Finn Balor? I mean,
you get a program with Finn and Balor.
But here's the thing with Finn and Balor.
Shut up. Fuck off.
So
right?
here's the thing. Doing it that way, it's going to be harder for them to try and come up with a plan beforehand, even though they don't come up with plans that long beforehand anyways.
Apparently, they come up with plans in the ring during a promo.
And then don't even talk about what they were initially going to talk about. But anyways, that's a different story.
Yeah,
Thanos snaps fingers in the chat, says, is it true Fox and NBC Universal want the brand split to end? No. Everybody that reported that took Meltzer's comment out of context. So what Dave Meltzer said was, Fox and NBC both put pressure on WWE to raise the ratings. Vince felt the only way to get ratings up is to have the big stars on more than just the one show a week, but he wanted to figure out a way to do so without ending the brand split, because Vince likes the idea of the separate brands. So many people that reported that took Dave Meltzer's comment out of context. Didn't quote it properly. He did not say
that's the story of wrestling.
He did not say. Yeah, he did not say that they want him to end the brand split. All he said was they put pressure on WWE to up the ratings. Vince felt to do that you need more big stars on all the shows, but he doesn't want to end the whole brand split concept. So that's why it's only certain people can move every week, but you gotta still be associated with your one brand.
Yeah, fuck, man. I don't know. It's a lot.
So,
it's a lot. It's a lot, dude.
Yeah. You want to take a call?
Sure, I guess.
Let's take this call. Caller on the air. What's going on?
Hi, Tim. I want to ask you and Nick a question, actually.
Okay.
I'm wondering, have you guys got any updates on where Dean's gonna go? I know he's doing a movie, but do you think he's going to? Do you think he's gonna go back to ZZW or something like that, or sign with TNA? Apparently, that's where I've been reading other articles saying he might go to TNA.
Don't read into the TNA article. I know who reported that. He's full of shit. And Nick, it's not who you're thinking.
Huh?
No, sorry about that. The TNA thing, I know who said that, and yeah, they don't give out good information. People just aggregated their story, but as far as where Dean Ambrose is going to go, nobody knows right now. All we know for sure is that he's associated with this new movie that we'll talk about here in a moment, and he's going to apparently start taking bookings in June. He wants to do indie bookings starting in June.
And honestly, with the whole Dean thing, I think his character benefits more on the indies because he has more creative freedom how to do his promos and stuff. Because I think he hated Vince's Vince's thing that he was doing with his character because I don't think Vince.
Fuck, I'm back.
And we lost the other caller. My bad.
Dear God.
I apologize for that caller. That we lost you in the middle of your sentence.
I don't. That caller was a fucking hacker. He kicked me out of the call.
No,
what
it was actually my fault. It was my fault. I clicked the wrong button.
Thanos slaps fingers. Asked, was it Brad Shepard Slice Wrestling? I don't get it. You're both naming fucking garbage.
It was neither of them.
Sergio Go says, Nick, what kind of weed do you buy? Should I tell him?
I don't care.
Is that demonetizable?
No.
I prefer sativas and cartridges. I don't do flour. There you go. And edibles.
That was like when I was like your age. I had a buddy and his dad was smoking stuff one time, and he goes, "Man, this shit's so strong they ain't even got a name for it yet."
This shit's so. Oh, I'd like to think years later we find out that's fucking like I don't know black tar heroin.
I don't know what it was, but he was like, "This type of weed, it's so fucking strong they ain't even got a name for it yet." And I'm like, "Okay, then you keep that to yourself."
I'm a baby to the marijuana game. I'm still growing. It's great.
I've stayed away from that.
It makes wrestling bearable.
Hey,
it makes being alive a little bit funner.
you may have a new business opportunity there.
You want to make wrestling better? I've got a great idea. No, please don't. And don't, if you do, don't tell your parents I told you to, please.
So,
I don't want to get in trouble.
As far as Dean Ambrose, or sorry, say John Moxley goes,
Jonathan Moxford, that's his real name for those
he's
that
going to
don't
be in a
know.
new movie that is what people wanted the CM Punk UFC story to be. So, when CM Punk moved over to the UFC, a lot of people were like, "Oh man, how cool would it be to see him transition from wrestling to UFC and actually win a fight and do well?" Well, Dean Ambrose is going to be in a new movie called, I think it's like Cage Fight or Cage Fighter or something like that, where the movie's about a high-profile MMA fighter. This guy transitions from pro wrestling to MMA, and in his first fight, beats this guy who I think is supposed to be a champion. The guy then gets embarrassed and humiliated because he lost to the former pro wrestler and has to work his way up back to earn a rematch and redemption. And I don't know what role Dean is playing, but Dean could be playing that pro wrestler, now MMA fighter, as we did see in that John Moxley video. He was doing a little training in a ring and with the heavy bag.
Very true.
Also, former WWE World Heavyweight Champion Christian is one of the executive producers of the movie.
Christian, at last. That theme song was a great. It's fucking all of wrestling.
What?
Yeah, Christians at last.
He's executive producing the movie, which I read that and I was like, wait, what?
That's neat. Good for him.
He's done a couple things. I know he's done some TV show stuff. I think he hosted a show on History Channel, some competition show. So I mean, he's getting his name out there a little bit. I mean, he's not like Edge on Viking.
Dude, fucking Edge is such a cool dude.
So now he's playing. He's daddy right now because his wife's in Europe with the European tour wrestling.
I like that. I like that a lot. I'm really glad. So was that a one-off for Beth coming back?
Huh?
Was that a one-off? Beth coming back?
Well, I mean, she did WrestleMania. She is now wrestling on the European tour.
Did she do Mania, or did she just have a spot at Mania?
No, she wrestled Mania. She wrestled at WrestleMania, and now she's part of the NXT announce team.
I saw that. Replaced tomorrow.
So she did an interview recently. I mean, we're getting off a little bit, but this is actually interesting to talk about.
Yeah,
She stated when she left WWE, it's because she wasn't happy. She left.
Shocking, right?
Because they weren't doing anything with the women, and she felt like they weren't really ever going to do anything with the women to a point where the women would actually be, what's the word I'm looking for? Important?
Viewed equal?
Sure. And she was just like, you know what? At the time, I think she said this, no, she may have actually said this on the Ride Along episode. She was just like, when I decided to retire, it's not that I didn't think I couldn't go anymore. It's just I I felt like I was done and I wasn't happy anymore doing it, so I wanted to go a new direction with my life. And now that the women are being utilized, she wants to wrestle again. But it's just weird.
Which I like that, dude.
Because they should have been using her in a better position than they were. If you really think about it.
I'm excited for them to see if Becky, dumbass, to see if Beth continues on.
Also, speaking about former wrestlers, I did get asked about this because PW Insider reported that a bunch of non-full-time active wrestlers are going to be, I guess you could say, representing WWE at the Upfronts next week. John Cena, the Bellas, Ronda Rousey. And the reason all these non-full-time or active wrestlers are doing it is because of the timing, and the rest of the roster is actually going to be in the European brand or the European tour. So they couldn't do it. I mean, I know last year they flew Charlotte over for the day to do it, but
I like that. I like that a lot. Man, what a great night tonight's been for me.
yeah.
Smoked, Sharks won, did a podcast. It's been a great night.
Good show.
Good show. Another great show. And if you want more show, then you should subscribe right here at Pro Wrestling Unlimited. And you know what? Fuck, we didn't even talk about this. Where can what other places can we be found?
So, if you don't catch us live and you want to watch later, but you don't want to watch it as a video on YouTube because sometimes you may want to turn the video off and not have the YouTube app running or something, you can literally listen to us on just audio. You can either go iTunes, you can go
Wait. Start over. You can go where?
iTunes,
How you doing?
Google Play Music,
How you doing?
Stitcher Radio,
How you doing?
iHeartRadio,
How you doing?
more to come.
How you doing?
So there's multiple places you can get our podcast, the Raw review, the SmackDown review, the Wednesday show, the pay-per-view reviews, and so forth.
All of the shows and more you can find on all of those platforms. That's pretty awesome. I'm excited to start growing out the shows much, much more. Whether I go to StarCast or not, I think pretty soon this show's gonna start getting in some new waves, man.
Hope
We're gonna
yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm glad Noob & Co. had fun. He said tonight is a fun night. I'm glad. I thank you all so much for joining me. And Tim, you can follow me on Twitter at ArmWeek21. You can follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited, Facebook at facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD, right here on YouTube. Of course, check out our friends over at Fightful, Fightful.com, and at Fightful Online on Twitter. Tim, where can they find you?
You can find me, of course, right here on Pro Wrestling Unlimited. You can find me basically everywhere at Timmy Buddy, and you can also find my non-wrestling podcast. Just go on YouTube and search The Weibo and Director Show. On that show, we talk about video games, movies, TV shows, tech stuff. Basically,
I want to be on that show.
I want to get you on there maybe one week.
Yeah, let's get me on there. Fuck yeah, dude. I love
Yeah.
video games. Absolutely.
So, just search Weibo and Director Show if you want to listen to my non-wrestling podcast. We've got 2 episodes up. Episodes go up every Saturday morning. So,
Just like the cartoons. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you guys next time. Until then,
have a good night.
sleep well. I love you. Text your mom. She misses you.